your mindset, your perception is all based on you. And as soon as you decide that you are relentless, and as soon as you decide that you are worthy and that you're valuable and that you're worth it, and that nothing can change that, not what somebody said, not what mom and daddy said, not what your friends said, not what the circumstances say. As soon as you start to believe, because people don't understand the power of belief. The power of belief got people healed without anybody touching them, because the power of belief is so strong. But as soon as you can fix your mind to believe something other than all the trash that has been dumped on you, you will start to see so many things change in your life, because that's the power of belief. Because once you believe it, you can manifest it.
Hold up. Hey, yo, Tama Beats, let's get him something new to ride to. Welcome to the Pursuit of Passion podcast with K. Noel. So take a seat and listen. Listen to the practical words, encouraging words that are here to help you get over the hump in your life, cause you are in pursuit of your passion. Yeah, I see you, and I present to ya the Pursuit of Passion with K. Noel.
Pursuit of passion, pursuit of passion. You gotta have it, you gotta have it. Pursuit of passion, pursuit of passion. Yeah, you gotta have it.
Yo, what's going on, fam? This is your boy, K. Noel, back. We're coming back with another episode. Yo, check this out. I have my guest on today. She is on fire, y'all. Y'all really got to check her out. You got to check out her clubhouse. Her clubhouse, y'all, it is lit. So I'm going to let her she's going to tell you all about her clubhouse, what she does, everything that comes along with her. She's incredible. She's awesome. So I just want to introduce her, and I just want you all to just welcome her, follow her on her social media. Like I said, she's going to tell you about all of that. And now I'm going to be honest. She's going to be on season 3. I'm already planning season 3 out, but your boy called an audible. I'm quick to do that sometimes. So, and she was ready. She was ready to hop on. So I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Noel. Every time I get introductions, I'll be like, oh my God. But my name is Aarionna Lusane, and I am the Freedom Rider coach. My clubhouse, everything you can find me is Freedom Riders. Every single thing, whether it's Instagram, Clubhouse, Facebook, you can find me there. I'm excited to be here today. I was so excited when you called me, first of all. Let's be clear. I was excited. I was like, woo! I was hoping I could get on before season 3. So I'm super excited, and I'm so ready to jump into this podcast. I was definitely excited. So, yeah.
Awesome. So let me tell you all what me and her talked about, and I asked her would she get on to do this particular episode. We're gonna have a conversation. A lot of we're all about being motivated. Let's be real about it. We love the ETs, we love the Inky Johnsons. I just had to throw out a few of my personal favorites, but it's a lot of motivational speakers out there, and we all love to be motivated. But what happens after that moment of motivation? Because we get our hype, we're set on fire, but then there's a moment after. So I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Well, it's interesting because if I could be honest, that's the hardest part of what I do. Is like people come in my clubhouse or they'll watch me do a Facebook Live or whatever, and everybody knows me to be motivational. Like that's the one thing everybody knows. But I find the part that I find hard is getting people to understand, like, I am very motivational. You can call me at any time, I'll pick you up. But it's what happens after the motivation that people don't connect, they don't register. And they get caught up in this a lot. Like I have this problem with a lot of people. And after you get motivated comes work, like comes action. And that's why you see so many people who they're like, I'd be like super high, right? Like we ride on this wave and you're high and all of a sudden you drop again. And because after motivation is implementation. And most people don't get that, which it's the hardest thing for people to get because you feel so good in that moment. Like So, you know, my Clubhouse live, like fire. I mean, I get inboxes and inboxes afterwards, like, oh my God, you was talking about, you know, you hit on this, you hit on that, and da-da-da. And then like, give it like a week and they go cold, or I can't find them. And I'm super in touch with like my Clubhouse followers. Okay, I love my Clubhouse followers. Check on them. I genuinely do, because it's just in me. So I'll send messages and check on them, like, oh, you know, this happened and that happened. So when you asked me about this topic, I was like so down to do it, because I was like, yes, like, can we please talk about what happens after motivation? Because that's really where you either start to see your life change or really stay the same.
Yeah, I agree with you absolutely, because what people have to understand is just like being in class. When you're in class, you're writing down those notes. But the key is, when you write down those notes, you got to go back and study those notes.
Yes.
Because after those notes come, after you take those notes, after the class comes the test.
Yep. That's good. I like that analogy. I really do, because even when I think about being in school, you are really motivated once your teacher teaches you that stuff. You're like, oh, okay, I can do this. And while you're in class and they're giving you the practice work and you can ask questions, and it feels like, I got it. Now, when you get home and you start doing the homework by yourself, some hours don't went by, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to clean the house. You're not motivated to then do that same work. But like you said, it's the practice that makes for the A on the test. Like, if you're not able to practice it, that's why I said it's really about implementation, right? Because you can get motivated to get up and change your life, or shift your mindset. Like, I'm big on mindset, right? And so I talk about it every single time I can, because I think a lot of people don't understand that your change in your life starts at the roots, which is your mind, it's your thoughts, right? I've had a lot of people tell me, like, well, how do you really change your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're in a motivational era where everything is like pump, you know, like, let me pump you up. And then you get a whole lot of pumped up people who don't got no steps, who don't got no roadmap, no plan. It's like, all right, I mean, I feel great, but what I'm supposed to do after that? What happens next? And I'm like my program that I have, right, it's called the GPS plan. And I had it was a Queen's GPS, so I had to change it because I'm getting a lot more of my guys. So I'm just gonna call it the GPS plan and just leave it at that. But when you think about like, okay, is it okay if I give this analogy? Because just think about it. Okay, you want to go somewhere, you get really excited. Let's say, I don't know, like, I'm gonna use my kids because I'm a mom, so my kids, here's the thing. We're gonna go to like a jumping place. They get super excited, and I'm excited to take them, but I don't know how to get there, right? And so this is what a lot of people do. They have what they want to do or where they want to go, and they get super excited because it's the jumping place. We're going to have fun. It's gonna be trampolines, and what they forget is you got to figure out how to get there, right? Because you don't have the direction, you don't know, but you're excited. You're excited, and you get a lot of people who stay here. I'm excited. I want to go to this place. But what they don't understand is, why do we even have GPS systems? It's because I'm excited to be somewhere, but this is going to guide me to the destination. Oh, don't get me started. It's too early. Like, and I need this plan. And that's what happens after motivation. That's what happens after excitement. That's what people don't understand about. It's great to do vision boards. It's great to have a vision. You should have a vision, but you can't have a vision and not have a plan.
Wow.
Like, that's what happens after motivation. You need to get a plan. You need to come up with a system, some steps. What can you do? What can you follow? People talk about, how do I break out of bad habits and a bad mentality, or anger, all kind of stuff. You need a plan. You need a plan, because what good is just having a vision? You just like that kid who's super excited to go somewhere, but they don't know how to get there.
I'll tell you something else that just, as you was talking about getting there, mm-hmm. There are some people that's already there. Say, for instance, you're going to meet people there. Mm-hmm. There may be a few potholes along the way that the GPS is not going to tell you.
Yes.
And the key is, you got to listen to the people who are already there.
That's good.
And see, a lot of times people don't listen to the people who are already there. Mm-hmm. And especially because we want to get there so quick.
Yeah.
And you may say that the speed limit is 55, so make sure you're not going over 55 because there's a police officer up there. So because I didn't want to listen to this advice, next thing I know, now I'm getting the ticket, and now my journey is taking a little bit longer.
Yep.
Or there maybe for instance, you're going to another state or another city. My brother lives in Arizona. One thing he just moved there. One thing he told me is, he loves to speed. So for him to go the speed limit, it says a lot. And he told me, he said, one thing about there, you can't go over the speed limit because they're gonna ticket you no matter what. In Georgia, they give us like a 10-mile gap.
Yeah, that grace thing, that little bit of grace.
Yeah. So here I am. If I'm going to another state now, I'm thinking, I still got that same grace period that that gap that I have in Georgia. And now I'm getting pulled over because I didn't listen to the advice that my brother gave me.
Right.
Or maybe I written it down, but I didn't follow those instructions, or I didn't go back to study it and bring it to my remembrance so that I can remember it. And now here I am stuck getting a ticket, and I'm paying an extra price for something that I really didn't even have to pay for.
That part. That you didn't even have to. You know what's interesting that I've learned about a GPS? Now I've tested it. I'm not gonna lie, I've tested it. But you know how the GPS gives you a time limit?
Yeah.
And so you try to beat the time because you're running late or whatever, right? Do you notice you never beat the time? You might change it by a minute, 2 minutes. It'd be it is so crazy to me because I was you're telling me if I speed just a little bit, if I go my 10 grace, I'm not gonna get there faster, and you really don't. And I said that to say this, that's what a lot of people do in their season of getting there, like what you said, because we're a microwavable generation, because everything has to happen now, I'm realizing you're going no faster than the person on the side of you. The person who's also running the same race, you're actually not going faster than them. You're maybe a minute to 2 minutes. I've tried to beat the GPS time. It don't work. I really tried to cut it down. It don't work. But that's what we do. We try to beat it. And then, like you said, we don't want to listen to people that have come ahead of us because for some reason we find it exciting to bump our heads ourselves. We're just so ignorant. If you listen, then somebody can help you get there smoother. It may not necessarily be all that much faster unless they give you maybe a detour, a back way. But here's the thing is, I think what you said about potholes and things like that was so powerful that stuck out to me is that on our journey to there, or to get to the vision or the place we want to get to, we have to be very in tune and live in reality that things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. There could be a roadblock. There could be a pothole. There could be a closed exit. And we get on this journey of after motivation, we start traveling our journey and we get upset because there's a roadblock. We get upset because we got to be rerouted. You get what I'm saying? If you had to be rerouted, would you rather get there safely or would you rather not make it? And that's what people don't ask themselves. It's instead of getting frustrated that, you hit a hard spot or you had a bad day or things didn't go the way you planned and the way you didn't want them to go, usually it's for your protection. And it's would you rather get there and make it with some bumps, some scratches, some bruises? Would you rather not make it, or would you rather God detour you so that you get there safely? And people they just can't connect that everything don't go right. And it just doesn't, and that's okay, right? Because I'm still gonna get there.
Right.
That's the great thing about a GPS is that when it comes on, if you're driving and there is an accident, or if you're driving and there's some traffic coming up, you know how to turn red and it show you the traffic up? Yeah. Listen, something there telling you about to hit some traffic. Now at that point, what you can decide to do is take come on, Lord, because the GPS now has this really cool feature where it says, do you want to keep going or do you want to go this route? Oh, yes. And so now we have the option of going a different way that helps us bypass this traffic, something that may delay us. But what happens is, after motivation, if people don't decide to walk out the steps, if people don't decide to travel the road, you never get to where you're going. And then while you're getting there, you have to be very conscious that everything may not turn out the way you want it, but it doesn't mean you won't get there. And I think people forget that. And it kills their motivation quicker than quick.
I gotta bring this up because you mentioned this in Clubhouse the other day. I'm telling y'all got to get into the Clubhouse.
What did I say?
you mentioned that deeper why. Mm-hmm. And just thinking about what you were saying, the traffic and stuff like that. Some people get discouraged with the traffic and they turn around.
Yep. Come on. Yep.
And because they don't have that deeper why. Mm-hmm. Not that cliche is why we're doing this, but that deeper why. Mm-hmm. Because they don't have that, they get discouraged. They don't wait for the GPS, because sometimes the GPS got to calculate to tell you, to go a roundabout.
There you go.
And they get discouraged, and now they go back. And because they went back, now it's going to take them even longer to follow through to them steps, to get to the destination and the place that they said that they wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's interesting because I've gotten this a lot, and I think people sometimes look at me crazy when I say it, and I don't care because it's the truth. When you say cliche wise, those are the things that drive me crazy, because I'm like, I get a lot of people who are like my kids, and people always look at me crazy when I say this, because I got 3.5 children, proudly. But my why is deeper than just my kids. My why actually is attached to something far beyond them. It's attached to touching lives, to getting people healed, to see people broken free from mental and emotional barriers. But when you say cliche wise, it would be right for me to say my why is my kids, right? And if I didn't say that, people would look at me weird. But here's what people don't understand is that while Jesus loved everybody, his why, or he loved his 12 disciples, his why went far beyond them. You get what I'm saying? Why he loved his mother and his father, his why went far beyond that. It was for everybody. And that's what happens is people get these cliche whys because it was what sounds good. I mean, I should, right? Why wouldn't my kids be my why? But this is what I've come to understand is anything I get, they get it because they're a byproduct of who I am. They automatically inherit it. So I don't need them to be my why. You get what I'm saying? They don't have to carry that. I don't need them to be my everything, because here's the thing about kids. They get old, they get grown, they live their lives. So I definitely can't base my everything on that. But my why, my purpose, what I was created to do is far beyond that. And people don't dig deep enough to find their why. And what you get is a lot of people starting things with the cliche why, and then wonder why they don't finish. Because you didn't really dig deep enough to really ask yourself, no, why am I really doing this? Because your why has to be able to get you up out the bed when you don't feel like it. It has to be able to make you set your alarm clock at 4 a.m. because that's how you're going to get extra hours in the day to build your business before you go work your job. Your why got to get you up when you don't feel like it. Your why got to bring you to tears when somebody pisses you off and you still got to keep pushing, or you got to get up and speak. Like, your why has to be that thing that says, regardless, no matter what, I got to keep going. And you're right. A lot of people, they'll turn around and go back home. Oh, it's traffic. Oh, this didn't come out right. Oh, it's going to take me an extra 10 minutes, an extra 5 years, an extra 2 years. I'm going to turn back and go around. But here's the funny thing about what you said. And I've said this in my Clubhouse too. Just because you turn around doesn't mean that space wasn't there for you. And where a lot of people get mixed up is they feel like because they decided to give up, because they turned around, because they threw in the towel, that means what they wanted was not for them. That's not true. That's actually not true. That place you were trying to get to is still there. But because you didn't push, because you didn't keep going. I have the thing that I say in the mornings with my morning motivation room is, and I've said it many a times, because how crazy is it that we're talking about motivation? I do morning motivation. You ask me what happens afterwards. But I say this, you got to ride the momentum into action. See, I think it's great to have motivation, but I think motivation without implementation is devastation. Like, it'll destroy you because you just ride these highs. But you have to ride the momentum into your implementation. But like you said, and I think that's really such a great thing for people to kind of realize is just because you decide to give up, throw in the towel, go home, doesn't mean you weren't destined to get there. And a lot of people are upset because their dreams are not coming true and I'm not living my best life and my vision. It's because you decided to give up.
Yeah.
Right? Like what makes me and you different? What makes the billionaire, across the street or the singer or whoever you look at, what makes them different? They just decided not to give up. They just decided to keep pressing past, even if they had to be a detour or it took an extra 10 minutes. And sometimes you can't detour that traffic line, that red line. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you gotta just ride it out, right? Do you have the persistence? Do you have the patience? Ooh, that word, patience, to go through that red bar space of traffic? That it's going to delay you a little bit. Do you have the patience? Because what people don't understand is success, whatever that may look like to them, is going to have its own thing. And success, you get success when it realizes that you can handle the pressure. And a lot of people don't want to be under pressure. They don't like pressure. We run from pressure. We run from being uncomfortable. My favorite thing is if you don't get comfortable being uncomfortable, you won't get nowhere. Okay.
I got so much to say. I'm just going to tell a little bit of my business.
Yeah.
And this is another issue. And people, when the journey don't meet their expectations, that is another reason why they quit. After I wrote my first book, Unlocking the Treasure from Within, it didn't look the way I wanted it to look. It was great that I wrote the book, riding on high after writing this book. But then it got a little quiet. And because of that, I started getting discouraged and I quit. Not knowing where I could have been now. And thank God for, what I went through, because now it helped me to become who I am now. But I found some old SD cards that I had in my phone, and I was looking at some stuff. And, now we in the day of content creation. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at this and I was like, man, I was making content all the way back then before it was really a thing.
Yep.
And the thing is, we're doing stuff while we're discouraged, and what looks like it's going to be a long journey, not realizing that something that we was doing, that we're doing stuff that's not even popular yet, that's going to eventually be popular. But if we keep pressing on, it's so much more at the end of this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's just a matter of keep pushing through that red line. I hate Atlanta traffic. Everybody knows Atlanta traffic is horrible. In fact, I let my wife drive through Atlanta.
Horrific. It's bad. I said Texas is bad too. Like, just horrible. The traffic's horrible. So I feel you. Like that traffic jam thing is crazy. You know what? I have a similar thing. Let me tell you, so crazy. He's maybe like 4 years or something. I can't remember the company. So me and my husband, he is a fitness trainer and a nutritional coach, and I used to be too. We used to have a meal prep company. Wild. We were literally like one of the first out here that was really doing meal prep and like delivering it and trying to figure out how to get into stores and all this other stuff. And I forget the one store that started out. They closed. As fast as they went up, they closed. But they were the first one, like really nationally known. But anyways, same thing you're saying. We stopped. Now, had we kept going, we were doing things that people are now making a thing. Like now you get the meal prepping in the grocery stores. H-E-B got the meals. And I sit back and I'm like, oh, it's so funny. Like you said, thank God, right? Because now, you move forward, you got, you using what you got. But and even though I don't do the fitness and the meal prep no more, I tell people to this day, like, are you ever gonna start back? Like, can you like eat? We were trying to figure out how to mail meals. Now they got Eat Fresh and all. Like, and it blows your mind. But what you come to realize is that nothing that God wants to happen won't happen. And I said to say this, whether it was going to be us or somebody else, that was going to be a thing, right? The whole meal prepping wave, it was going to be a thing. It just, it gets you because you realize if you just follow through though, if I would have just pushed through, how we just pushed through whatever we were going through, I think it wasn't making the money we wanted. Man, we would have been billionaires right now. Like, oh my God, right? It's just like, okay. So it's a testament to say how to keep pushing no matter what. Because it's going to pop, like it's always been yours. And that's the thing we got to remember is that the visions that you get, things that bubble up inside of you that you can't sleep and you're like, I know I'm supposed to do this. I know I'm supposed to do this. This is my purpose, right? It's funny because I used to say, you got to find your purpose. And I've changed that recently because I've realized that's bad, y'all. That's bad teaching. You have to tap into purpose. You don't find it because we were all born with it. Woo. So you don't have to find purpose, right? But you do have to tap into it. Some of us are asleep, some of us are not connected, but when you tap into purpose, and what you find out is that, just like your analogy with your book, just like with the meal prep, I still kick myself to this day. I'd be like, but it is a testament to me now and what I do now, my coaching and with FreedomRidahs is you don't stop. Because it's not that the win is not there for you. And this is where I feel like I'm very big on who I have in my space. This is why I do morning motivations. This is why I'm motivational. I'm a motivational speaker, period. Because what I understand is if I would have had somebody, I think in that moment when it was really hard with the meal prep company, pushing me, talking to me, letting me know, hey, listen, it might be hard, but you got to keep going. Don't stop. Just listen. If I had somebody in my ear like that, I think we would have kept going, right? And so that's why I feel like I've heard some people say even on Clubhouse, like people are starting to put a bad tag on motivation. But I don't want it to be a bad tag. I want people to understand and this is my biggest thing to get people to get. I want to motivate you and give you a plan. Because you're gonna need both. Because sometimes you are just not having a good day, you need somebody to speak life, and then sometimes you need a plan, and then sometimes along that plan, you need somebody to talk you through it, to keep you going, like, no, keep pushing, keep going, keep building. And so people are trying to make it a bad thing, like motivation is not what gets you there. No, here's the thing, it's like baking a cake. You can't bake a cake with just eggs. But if you have eggs and flour, you got a base. But you can't just bake cake with eggs and flour. You're gonna need some water. And so what people have to understand is this whole thing of making it or success in the journey is like baking a cake. And so we don't have to throw out things because some people was motivated and then they wasn't. We don't throw out motivation. We need to bake a cake. You need the motivation. You need the plan. And you need the push. And you need the time. You need all of it because that's how we bake a cake. You don't bake a cake with one ingredient, right? And so when you ask me what comes after motivation, I'm like, great, because that's the first thing, is you need to get motivated. You need somebody to speak life. But the next thing is you need a plan. And then there's other things. Now you got to practice. It's baking your perfect success cake. Woo! And I know somebody who would get me for this because I'm about to write a book on this about your perfect success cake. What does that look like? And you don't have to throw out one for the other, but it takes a whole thing to make a cake. It takes all of it. It doesn't take one. And I thank God for the journey, right? Like you said, because I've learned that I'm not giving up on my dreams. Let me tell you something, nothing short of death gonna make me give up on my dreams. But what you see is if you follow through and you keep moving, like it's there for you. And I think that's like, that's my greatest motivator, is to know that when it's there for me, right? Like, I want to travel all around the world and do motivational speaking and teach people how to implement plans into because I do personal business development. I want to teach them how to personally develop themselves and develop their business. And I want to speak life and knowing like the analogy, the things that we use that, man, when I dropped that, man, it was, I could have been one of the first. It's like, okay, you never give up. You know what I mean? You never stop. And you have to have the tenacity, the resiliency, the persistence. Those are the ingredients you got to build in there, and you got to keep working, and you got to push, right? And that's motivation, and the aftermath is you got to keep pushing.
We're going to go to a commercial break, but I want to say that if you all hadn't learned anything yet, the key thing is don't give up on your vision.
Don't give up.
It's costly to give up.
It is.
And it may pay somebody else because God's going to use somebody else. I got more to say about that, but we'll be right back.
You just drop the mic because this is going to pay somebody. Jesus.
Hey, what's up, fam? To all my business owners out there, do you need to get your business out to more eyes and ears? Do you have a book that you want to get into the hands of other people? Well, here's your opportunity. The Pursuit of Passion podcast is looking to partner with you. We are offering advertising opportunities, so hit us up today. All serious inquiries can email us at podcast@relentlessmotivationalgroup.com. And remember, all things motivate. Goals. How many goals have you set up for yourself when you gave up because it was too hard? How many times did you feel you weren't good enough because the journey seems tedious? I too felt this way, but then things changed. I realized I had to change how I think. I had to change who I was. I had to be relentless. I am Noel. I want to tell you about my book, Be Relentless. It teaches how to understand your roar, your design path, hitting your mark, and much more. Purchase your copy of Be Relentless today at www.relentlessmotivationalgroup.com. It's not just another book. It's a movement. So are you ready to be relentless?
All right, we're back. This is what I thought about. I thought about Noah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
and we know Noah had all kind of chatter coming from the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was calling him crazy, all kind of stuff. One of my favorite Chinese proverbs is "the foolish man moved the mountain."
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about both of those scenarios,
yeah,
you're building this boat for animals and everything, and you're looking foolish right now. And if you really think about, to everyone else, your vision and your plans, it's going to look foolish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to make sense to everybody else. But the key is you got to keep building. Sometimes it may not make sense to you, but
listen,
you got to keep building.
I can't, like, you'll make me run around. You'll make me run around and shout. Like, I can't do this because I was just telling somebody, I said, your vision or your plan or what God gave you is not for everybody to see. And that's where we all mess ourselves up, is because, like you said, it didn't give what it was supposed to give. Like, I'm doing this. Like, where's the rah, and the, and the thing about it is, what's for you is it wasn't given so that everybody else could do it. It was given for you to do it, for you to push. Now, Noah is a bad somebody, okay? You talking about this dude built a boat that could house two of everything on earth and his family with no rain in sight. And this guy, it wasn't like he just knew. He was told to just build. And see, some of us, we get frustrated because we don't have a whole plan. We don't have a whole, what you mean? Like, okay, you said this is my purpose. I'm supposed to build this boat, ain't no rain, ain't no nothing. And then, like you said, and then the sidelines, and that's why I'm so big on who speaks in my ear. And a lot of people they're not boundary enough to say, you can't let everybody speak into your ears. You can't let everybody say something, because it will literally stop you from what God is doing in your life. Like, and what was meant for you. And had he allowed the voices of everybody, like, talking about how he looked crazy. And then what you said was very powerful. Sometimes it may not even make sense to you. Like, you might be doing this thing and it'd be like, it's still not raining. I still gotta build. Like, I ain't seen not a drop of rain. Matter of fact, it's getting hotter. It seems like the days is getting hotter. Like, what are we talking about here? But sometimes it may not make sense to you, but see, here's the thing, is what you said in the beginning, that we talked about. I think it was yesterday I did it in the clubhouse. Your why. See, his why was so much deeper than his environment, than the people around him, than how he felt, than him being tired, than what he saw. Because a lot of us get backed up because we don't visually see, we don't tangibly see it working how we thought it would work, or as fast as we thought it would work. But see, because his why was deep enough, he kept building. And then all of a sudden, some raindrops started to fall. And that's the part we're all waiting for. And that's the part I feel like we have to take hope in, that it's going to rain. Like we have to believe that part, that it is going to rain. And so no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, no matter how the environment, and I try to tell people all the time, it doesn't matter about what it looks like right now in your life. You can't look at that, because it only takes a second. I live in Houston, Texas, okay? Let me tell you something about Texas. It could be 90 degrees, it could start raining right now. That's Houston, Texas for you. It'd be a good, like, it's sunny today, we literally could have a rainstorm morning tomorrow. Like, but think about this life, right? Think about your life that way. Think about as you're building, what if it started raining tomorrow, right? What if everything pops tomorrow? And I had a clubhouse thing that I did, and I said, what if today is your day? What if? But you stopped, you gave up. You decided to throw this out because, you know what, yesterday didn't work and last week didn't work. But what if tomorrow, Monday, the 14th is actually your day? And that's how we have to think every single day, is what if today is my day? What if today is actually my day? And you walk away, and you give up, and you were right there. You were, oh man. What if Noah just stopped 2 days before? Oh my goodness. What if 2 days before he didn't get the door put up? What if? And then what? That's like, see, when I think of it in that terms, that's what motivates me to get in the mud with it, right? To get in the dirt, to get in my plans, to work it, to put forth action, because my mind is always saying, Aarionna, what if tomorrow's the day? What if tomorrow's the day you get the call? What if tomorrow's the day your book sell out on Amazon? Like, what if tomorrow is the day? And you just decided, well, I didn't want to post today. Ooh. Go ahead, you go ahead and jump in, because this is gonna get me going. Because like, what if though?
This is all I have to say. I got two things to say. The first thing is this. Mm-hmm. Those same people that was talking against you,
right? Come on.
They're gonna need you.
That part. Because
when they start seeing that rain coming down,
that part,
everybody knew they was in a world of trouble.
They wish they had a boat then.
Yeah.
They wish they had been the crazy ones building the boats then.
But on the flip side of it, mm-hmm. there is a danger in stopping. Mm-hmm. Just like you said, the day that the rain decided to come, you didn't put up the door.
Yeah.
Or you just stopped altogether building the boat. Because you're that resource, you're that pill in a sick environment that's gonna heal it. Mm-hmm. But because you stopped, mm-hmm. now you're gonna drown with everybody else when you could have really saved it.
Wait, and let's go deeper, because really the great thing right now is leaving a legacy, generational wealth, and I'm with it. But if he would have stopped, there was a whole generation attached to Abraham. So now we go deeper, and that's why I said, like, I don't just say this is, my why is my kids. No, my why is my generation, my legacy. Because what's attached to you? What is attached to you, and what happens if you stop? Wow, because really, we only think about that story as he saved his family. He saved a whole generation. It was a world inside his womb and his wife's womb. And if you stop, do we really think about me stopping is not affecting today, but it's a ripple effect down my timeline of what's else. Okay, now how are we gonna stop? Now how we gonna drop the ball now? We can't drop the ball now because you don't even know what's attached to you getting up every single day and deciding to fight and to keep pushing and to keep building. You don't know what else is attached to it. And so, yeah, you're right, it's a twofold because the Bible says I will set a table in the presence of your enemies. And the other side is if you stop, you kill off the whole generation. Oh my God. Listen here, sir. I can't do this with you. You kill out the whole generation. Now, listen. If that don't get you up out the bed tomorrow to make you do something different, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what else? But based off of what you just brought to the table, honestly, a bit of me feels like the what if you stopped is way more dangerous than even the haters, right? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they need to vote. I get it. Don't get me wrong. The people that talk about you gonna come back. But now let's flip it on its head. Really, the detriment is you stopping because of how much is attached to you, how much is coming after you. My haters come back asking me for help is the least of my worries. But man, if I stop though, that's why I felt like we got to a space where we was too focused on our enemies anyway. He said, I'll make the table. I will prepare the table. Why are we so worried about them? And that's when you're going to let stop you from your generational wealth? Man, sign me down. Don't sign me up because I am not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for that. That's good.
Let's switch it up for a minute though. Let's talk to the people who have turned back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to forget them because a lot of times when you have turned back and your mind plays tricks with you like this.
Absolutely.
And hearing a message like this, instead of letting it inspire you, your mind can trick you into getting even more discouraged and spiraling into a hole, and you feel like it's no hope. Mm-hmm. Let's talk to them for a minute. I'll let you start it off.
Here's the thing. This is one of the greatest things that I remembered when, I battled depression for 5 years. For a long time, I battled depression, suicidal thoughts. I was addicted to sleeping pills, all kind of craziness. And I thought that was it, that was it. And what I come to remember, and this is what I tell anybody who feels like, but I did stop, but I did make a mistake, but I did give up, right? The greatest, most famous people in the Bible messed up. My favorite guy is David. That's my guy. I feel like we was brothers because that's my guy. And David messed up. And here's the thing. Even though he messed up, God didn't rip everything from him, right? He didn't take everything from him. You just had to deal with the consequence of messing up. And so what I would say to anybody is, just because you messed up doesn't mean God takes away your purpose. Come on now, because it was built inside of you. And anybody who is willing to look inside and say, you know what, I messed up, is better than the person who claims they're the best and greatest, but can't turn around and apologize, but can't turn around and say, I messed up. The greatest thing I always say is coming into your truth. If your truth is, I dropped the ball. If your truth is, I had a bad, because that was my truth. I dropped the ball and I tried to still build over not accepting that I messed up, and you can't do that. But the greatest thing is, no matter how bad we mess up, if we stop, if we turn back around, it doesn't matter. It adds to our story. It adds to it. It adds to the journey. I'm a big believer that there's nothing we do that surprises God, right? So even in your mess ups and your stuff, it's still a part of your purpose. It still is purpose. So you never lose purpose. You never lose purpose. So at any point in time, you can pick up and say, I'm going to try again. I try to dispel this thing called failure because we've attached it to this horrible, this negative thing. But failure comes to show you what you should have done right. That's it. Failure is not a stopping point. Really, right? Because really the only time you really lose is if you don't try again. That's really it. So if we could change the perception of failure, because I get it, your mind would play tricks on you. I failed, I stopped. See, just because I realized I should have been a billionaire in the meal prep business did not stop me from saying, I bet you my next million won't leave me. See, that's the mindset you got to get. Like, that's what it is. If you one of the people who feel like right now, like, you done hurt this up to this thing, you're like, damn, man, I didn't keep going. Let me tell you something. You get up, you dust your knees off, you learn from your mistakes, because I guarantee you my next million will not pass me up. Hear me today. Just because you missed out on that does not mean you missed out on life. It doesn't mean that was the sum total. That was just a piece that I could have had. But I think of 7 streams of income. That was a piece of what I could have had, but that's not all of it. And so I'm going for the rest of it. And that's what they're like. That's what I was thinking about. No, get up and go for the rest of it. Because that was just a piece. And here's the thing. It taught me what? To never stop trying. So we can stop looking at our mistakes and our failures as I'm a horrible person, I can't do it, and start looking at it as, what does this failure teach me? See, that right there taught me, well, I guarantee you the next great idea I have, I'm not going to let up, because you don't know when the season's going to change. All of a sudden it blows up, right? So that's what you have to do. You have to now train your mind to say, okay, what did that teach me? Okay, that taught me that I shouldn't have gave up. That taught me that I'm meant to be a billionaire, because meal prepping is a millionaire business. I'm going to keep saying it because this devil made me mad that he got me. But he only going to get me one good time. but it speaks to your future. You know, it speaks to who I am. You know what I'm saying? It speaks to the greatness that's inside of me. That's like, I believe it was a thing of saying, now see, you would have kept tapping into your greatness and understood who you were, understood your value, you would have had that. So what you're gonna do next time? So that's what I would tell them. No, what did you learn and what can you do now?
I will say this, change how you view it. I love saying I got an L. Your L is not a loss. Your L is really a lesson. So in that lesson becomes even more purpose. That adds more to your story. On my 7-year hiatus, within about the 6th year, Be Relentless started getting birthed in me. The crazy thing how Relentless even birthed in me, I was playing 2K. and that's where it happened. But then 2020 happened. We're stuck in the house. I'm faced with nothing but myself. And I had to face me. Sometimes don't be afraid, and oftentimes we're afraid to face ourselves. Just like you said, you got to admit that you messed up, but what is going to happen after this? I remember preaching a message. Yes, I used to be a preacher, y'all. I preached a message called After This. There is so much in your after this, after the trials that you have been through, after the heartbreak, after the divorce, after you have lost the money. There is so much in it.
Talk about it.
But and that is where the relentless mindset came from. Because I said, I will never give up on anything again. Will you feel like you want to give up sometimes? Will you want to question yourself? Yes, absolutely. But it's all up in here. You can't give up here. You're here at this moment right now. I like to call it the falling place. There's a lesson in the falling place. Even in the falling place, you're going to come across some people that you're going to help pull out of that place along with you.
Talk about it.
So there's still a purpose in where you are, Joseph.
Oh, wait, let me tell you a story. Jesus. How I knew that I was called to do this, I was called to be a motivational youth, that FreedomRidahs was it, to help free people from mental bondage. It's really a mental bondage, the mental warfare we go through. I remember being so tormented in depression. And it was so crazy because I've been divorced before and I'm remarried. And when I was going through the divorce, I was like, God, why am I going through this? Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't understand. I tried to do everything right. And he told me, I need you to go through it for other people. So then I get remarried and we go through our own troubles, tests. And I'm like, really? really? Like, this is a lot. He said, I need you to go through it. And sure enough, this is what sparked me to tell this story. I was getting married women put in my life who needed me to speak into their life, and I was going through it. And you're right. You'll be right in the of like feeling like you're in the fallen moment. And then he uses you to help somebody else. And I'm motivating them and I'm telling them to pray. And I'm like going home looking at my life like, this don't add up. Like, this just don't make any sense. Like what? But it built something inside of me that taught me exactly what we're talking about here. You never give up. You never stop. Purpose is when you can do it even in pain. Purpose is when you can keep going no matter what it looks like. Purpose is when you're able to minister or speak or touch somebody else while you don't even have it all together. And I was smack dab in the middle of that. And I would go home like, this is crazy, right? So go back to Noah. I'm building a boat and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, mine's is not together. But at the end of the day, it taught me how to give out of the space of purpose, out of love, out of compassion, out of my what he called me to do. I mean, it's interesting how you could be in the fallen place and you still give, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. And that's how I knew, like, oh yeah, this is definitely what I gotta do. At first I thought it was harsh that I had to go through things for other people, but I came to understand that it's an honor to be the example, to be the one, and to show people how to get out of such a dark space. And that's what a lot of people, I like what you say, even right now who are watching, who feel like they're so low, they're so in the fallen place. You don't understand that if you can make it out, you will bring out so many other people. You'll give so many other people hope, like, hey, okay, if you can do it, I can do it. And it's like, isn't that really all why we're doing whatever we're doing? Like, whether you're a fitness coach, whether you're, a personal development coach, whatever, isn't that why we're all doing it? To show people like, hey, you can do it, right? I love Relentless because I'm a relentless woman. You hear me? Like, it's nothing because I got to, but it's in me. Like, I'm going, listen, you got to get, regardless of where anybody is right now, your mindset, your perception is all based on you. And as soon as you decide that you are relentless, and as soon as you decide that you are worthy and that you're valuable and that you're worth it, and that nothing can change that, not what somebody said, not what mom and daddy said, not what your friends said, not what the circumstances say, as soon as you start to believe, because people don't understand the power of belief. The power of belief got people healed without anybody touching them because the power of belief is so strong. But as soon as you can fix your mind to believe something other than all the trash that has been dumped on you, you will start to see so many things change in your life, because that's the power of belief. Because once you believe it, you can manifest it. That's it.
Wow. We're going to go to a commercial break real quick because I got some more to say about it. and we'll be right back.
All right.
Toma on the beat.
Hey, what's up, fam? Yo, check this out. If you need music for your next album, your podcast, or maybe even your next video, your YouTube or whatever, I need you to check out my bro, Toma Beats. Hit him up today so he can set you up with dope music like what you hear in the background now. He also is the producer of the music you hear in the background for seasons 1 and 2 of Pursuit of Passion podcast. So check him out today on Instagram, Toma_Beats. That's TOMA_Beats. Or you can look him up on Facebook, Toma Beats. All right, let him know K Noel sent you. All right.
All right, we're back. Before you said all that you was going to say, I had this thought in mind. Mm-hmm. And I was going to say it sounds crazy. But sometimes we're purposed to go back and start over. And the reason is because we have to be realigned. Mm-hmm. Because we're walking in the purpose, but God is seeing. There's a few things that I need to open your eyes some more, because you're still seeing men as trees. Yeah. You're not seeing it clearly yet. So let me turn you around real quick and show you so that you can see that there's more to you than you even realize. Sometimes you have to be in that fallen place because there's more to you than you thought.
Yeah. Yep.
So we had to be realigned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's because we build on a bad foundation. The foundation is shaky, and anytime the foundation is shaky, you gotta rebuild. And that's I totally agree that you can easily get up, and that's why I fight so hard now, because I don't want to get up there and Jesus gotta bring me back down. I'd be like, get it out of me now. Like, what do I need to do? My anger, what is it? Patience, sign me up to learn it now, because you've seen a lot of people go up and come down fast.
Yeah.
Right? We see it, and it's because of that foundation. So you're right, sometimes you gotta go back. Sometimes he brings you down, sometimes he slows you down, sometimes he humbles us, like, because what people don't understand is the small things that trip people up in success, right? It's the small things. It's the fact that you don't know how to communicate. It's the fact that you don't treat people well, and you don't know how to give the same way it's given unto you. It's the fact that you got a bad attitude and don't nobody want to deal with that. And your energy is bad. You know, it's the fact that you don't know how to do well customer service. Like, your anger, you don't have patience, and people want to build over that stuff. But that's the stuff that knocks people down. That's where God got to humble you, because you got too much pride about yourself. And a lot of people don't want to deal with it. And so honestly, I thank God for my moments that I had to be broken down, because at least I'm dealing with it on this level, because I would hate to be in the limelight and have to deal with it up there. And I think a lot of people don't think about it. So I definitely think sometimes it can make you come back. You know, sometimes you got to go back. Sometimes you got to start from square one, because quite frankly, the foundation is shaky. Now, some people want to build on a shaky foundation. I've heard that is not the best thing to do. Don't let an earthquake or what we out here, we got hurricanes. I don't know what y'all got out there. Don't let it come through, because it's gonna knock you out.
And with what you're saying, sometimes you gotta be appreciative that you had to be turned around. Mm-hmm. Because think about the people that are at a high status, so to speak. Mm-hmm. They're famous, but because they didn't build it on a solid foundation, they don't made all kind of mistakes, and look how detrimental it is to them where they are now. Yep. So sometimes you gotta appreciate being turned around for that realignment.
Absolutely. I think always, like I said, I find it a real honor when I'm being turned back around, in the sense of I'd rather get it out of me now than to do it way up there. You know, that's why you see a lot of people in the limelight or with money or success or whatever, they commit suicide or they're unhappy, is because you didn't realize back then that money was not going to make you happy.
Right.
You didn't realize that money wasn't the issue. And in the world we live in, and how I would say a lot of us are raised, is that money's the issue. But you come to realize, no, it's the fact that you don't know how to be content in all things. It's about to be content in all things, a base and a bound, whether it's good or bad. But because you didn't learn that, you go all the way up there, and you thought money was the answer, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? You didn't deal with the fact that you just weren't happy with yourself, or you had low self-esteem, but then you got married, and then you try to put that off on somebody else. And see, the people don't want to deal with that stuff, but I've always counted it a blessing when God sit me down and be like, you need to work on that. Now you need to work on it. It's not going to benefit you. I'd be like, yes, sir. Okay, let me work, because I'd rather have it, not saying perfect, but I'd rather be aware, at least even if I'm aware. You know what I mean? Then I could continue to work on it and become that, because my greatest fear is to get up there and have to be crumbled down, and nobody should want that. But until people get real and get honest to say, I'm not all that, I don't got it all together, there's some things in me I need to work on and deal with, and stop trying to build over it, then you see it. Because like I said, you got the David. David has some issues, but God didn't have to rip him down, because what I believe is he worked through the things that really would have ripped him down. He wasn't perfect, but God had a heart to get it right. And that's what people miss. You got to have a heart to want to get it right. And that's what I work on every single day, is even if I don't do the right thing every single day, right? We're going to make mistakes, right? I still make mistakes to this day. I say to myself, I have the heart to want to get it right, to want to deal with it. That's how you see the Davids. And some people feel like, well, Saul was taken down. Why was David? Because David had a heart to get it right. There's a difference. There's a difference when you just okay doing wrong, being wrong, staying wrong, going wrong. You get what I'm saying? Versus I might make a mistake. And so I think if we become more conscious of that, that there's some things I got to work on, we will stop like getting little glimpses of success, and we would just have it, because we were all meant to have it. That's just my personal belief. I hope somebody else take that and take it with them. We was all meant to have it. It's just about how you get it. It's about how you get it. So I agree though. He will take you back. He'll pull you down. But count it as a blessing. I would tell anybody that. Anybody who feels like they made a mistake, they failed, or they had to be taken down or whichever, count that as a blessing, because that's really, honestly, it is. And every single time and anytime I'd be signed up for it. I'd be the first one on the list. Okay, what I gotta work on today? I'm here for it. So I totally agree with you.
All right, I'm gonna be real. We could go on about this topic all day.
Right.
So I'm gonna end it like this, like with every other guest that I have. I'm gonna give you the floor to encourage our listeners to motivate them to push on, to keep pushing. So I'll let you speak.
Well, I'll say this. I would want everybody and anybody who's listening to know you are not the sum total of your mistakes. Who they said you were, who they said you are, what you were told as a child. One of my favorite scriptures, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, but when I became an adult, I put away childish things. We are full within our right and control to shift the narrative. You can change the narrative. You can change your perspective. Today, right now, as you're listening, you can just decide to have a different mindset about your life. And if you really change your mind, if you really take everything you heard today as motivation to say, you know what, I'm not used up. I'm not who they said I was. I'm not a failure. I'm not a loser. I'm not any of those things. I'm somebody who experienced something that was a lesson. And because I experienced that lesson, that adds value to me. That adds value to me. And now I can push forward and keep going. If tomorrow was your day, just live in that for a second. Get everything you want in your mind right now. What if tomorrow was your day? Would you quit today? And then tomorrow, I want you to ask yourself that same question. Everything I want and everything I dream of and everything I desire, if it was to happen the next day, would you give up that day? So every single day, you got to remember that tomorrow just might be your day. But if you don't get up and make it, if you don't keep pushing, you'll never know. So that's it.
Wow. So again, can you give everybody where they can find you on the internet?
Yes. So everywhere, I'm going to spell it out because I know it sounds weird, but everywhere, Clubhouse, Instagram, Facebook, you can find me at FreedomRidahs. So it's the word freedom and Ridahs is spelled RIDAHS. And then Clubhouse, like Noel was saying, it happens Monday through Saturday, you guys, every morning, 6:15 Central Standard Time. And Saturdays at 8:15 Central Standard Time, 30 minutes of morning motivation. Please meet me there. I guarantee you it will change your life. I am Aarionna. Some people know me as Aarionna Hamilton Lusane. You can find me on any of those channels. FreedomRidahs is what it is. And I would love to see you in Clubhouse.
Y'all make sure y'all check out this. That Clubhouse be lit, y'all. So I don't listen to much on Clubhouse, but between her and ET, them the only two I listen to on Clubhouse. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's it for me. So, but I just want to let you know, I thank you. I appreciate you for taking the time out.
You.
It is greatly appreciated.
Anytime. You know, you call me anytime. I got you. Thank you so much.
All right. So for my listeners, I appreciate y'all. Y'all been rocking with me for going on 2 years. My YouTubers, y'all know what we doing, y'all. It's a fresh thing, new thing that we're doing. So y'all starting to rock with me too. I appreciate y'all. And so y'all already know the drill. Whatever time of the day it is, you all have a great day, a great evening, a great morning, and we are out. Woo! Thanks for joining us this week on the Pursuit of Passion podcast with K. Noel. Make sure to visit our website at www.relentlessmotivationalgroup.com to purchase books by K. Noel and Relentless Wear. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Both handler names are RelentlessMG1. And also check us out on Facebook at Relentless Motivational Group. Also, join the Relentless Texting Community today by texting Relentless to 404-962-0730. Be sure to subscribe now to the Pursuit of Passion podcast with K. Noel to catch a new episode every Thursday. And don't forget to leave a 5-star rating. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a ton of other podcast platforms. If you would like to look us up on Anchor, that would be anchor.fm/The Pursuit of Passion. If you would like to send a donation, you can do so on our website or on our Anchor page. Last but not least, always remember that all things motivate.